Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 9 p.m. English and news edition brought to you live from RTD channel. The top stories of tonight are unanimous rejection and condemnation of the recognition of Somaliland by the Israeli occupation entity. In the world news, a sharp increase in attacks by Israeli settlers in the occupied West Bank since the war against Gaza. Welcome back in our newsroom. Djibouti condemned Israel's recognition of Somaliland. The Republic of Djibouti strongly and firmly condemned Israel's recognition of Somaliland. This decision violates fundamental principles of international law, including the respect for borders and the sovereignty of state. Recognizing a regional entity within the territory of a sovereign country sets a dangerous example that could threaten stability across the entire region. Djibouti strongly supports the unity and sovereignty of the Federal Republic of Somalia. It also calls on the international community not to recognize this move and to uphold international law to ensure peace and stability in the region. Similarly, regional and international bodies condemn Israel's recognition of Somaliland. The African Union has strongly condemned Israel's decision to recognize Somaliland as an independent state, calling it a blatant violation of Somalia's sovereignty and territorial integrity. In an official statement, the African Union reaffirmed that the region is part of Somalia and warned that any unilateral recognition threatens the continent's stability. For their part, the Arab League described Israel's move as provocative and unacceptable, saying it could undermine regional stability. The League Arab reiterated its full solidarity with Somalia and support for its legitimate institution, urging respect for international law and UN Charter, which upholds state sovereignty and territorial borders. On their side, the Organization of Islamic Cooperation denounced on Friday yesterday Israel's recognition of Somaliland, describing it as a violation of Somalia's sovereignty and territorial integrity. In its statement, the OIC expressed its strong condemnation and rejection of the recognition of Somaliland, affirming that it undermines Somalia's national unity and territorial integrity. And now this statement from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, which emphasized that Djibouti fully supports all regional and international efforts to promote peace, security, and stability in Yemen. It reaffirms backing for Yemen's legitimate government unity, sovereignty, and territorial integrity, and calls for dialogue and cooperation among all parties to avoid escalation. Djibouti also welcomes Saudi Arabia's recent statement on Yemen and underscored the importance of coordinated Arab and international efforts to achieve a political solution, restore stability, and ensure safe maritime navigation in the Red Sea. End of statement. And now the country's news. Prime Minister Abdul Qadir Kamel Mohammed visited this morning the newly renovated neighborhood 7 sport field for an official inspection alongside several high-ranking officials. The ceremony was attended by Hassan Mohammed Kamel, Secretary of State in charge of sport, Abdullahi Miguel, Djibouti's ambassador to China, Muhammad Ali, Director of State Protocol, Mr. He, representing the company Touchwood, and Abdi Hassan, Prefect of Djibouti City, as well as local community leaders and neighborhood associations. The field has been fully renovated and now features modern synthetic turf, providing a safe and high-quality space for youth sport and community activities in the capital. In his statement, the Prime Minister Abdul Qadir Khan Mohammed praised the project as part of Djibouti's ongoing cooperation with China. He urged residents to take care of the field, highlighting its importance for youth development and the shared responsibility to maintain it. The Secretary of State in charge of sport also commended the company China touch wood for completing the work quickly and to a high standard. He said the upgraded field will help identify and nurture local sport talents and emphasize the government's commitment to expanding similar projects to other neighborhoods across the entire country.
Organize this event. Actually, we stay in Djibouti for more than 13 years now. Djibouti is like my second home. So we love Djibouti, we enjoy in Djibouti. Under the leadership of the President Gele, Touch Road is growing in Djibouti. We enjoy to do business in Djibouti, and our principle is to grow together with Djibouti and to make Djibouti more beautiful and more convenience for all the people they are living. We believe the leadership of President Gele, and we also have very big confidence of President Gele. So we believe under his leadership, Djibouti will be more and more beautiful, and we as foreign investors, we will have more opportunity in Djibouti. So we hope we can work together and to make Djibouti great. Here I also want to say our thanks to the Ministry of Sports and the Ministry of Home Habitat to give us support when we are doing the job for this playboy yard. As the future for the country, young people should have very good education and also very good health. So I hope this football yard not only provide enjoyment for the young people and also can help the young people to improve their health, to build their country, to build Djibouti more beautiful future. Only to sponsor to build this sport yard. In future, Touch Road also will do our best to build some other facilities to help the community to development.
For his sport, the State Secretary in charge of sport, Hassan Mohammed Kamil, praised the work carried out by the company Touchwood, highlighting the quality of the project and the speed of its completion. He noted that this new sport facility will create real opportunities to identify, guide, and support young talent in the neighborhood 7. He also reaffirmed the authorities' commitment to expanding similar projects to other neighborhoods across the capital. This local sport facility strengthens service availability to young people, encourages sport practice, and promotes community participation in the capital, he finally concluded. In his speech, Prime Minister Abdul Qadir Kamil Mohammed praised the achievement, describing it as part of the strengthening of cooperation between the Republic of Djibouti and the People's Republic of China. He called on local residents and the wider public to protect and preserve the facility, stressing that it is a valuable shared asset for youth development and that its maintenance is everyone's responsibility. Prime Minister also highlighted its key role in promoting a national sport among young people. Other news, the chairperson of Djibouti Port and Free Zones Authority, Abu Bakr Omar Hadi, today received Egypt's Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Industry and Transport, Kamal Al-Wazir, at the Djibouti International Free Trade Zone. The meeting took place in the presence of senior Djiboutian and Egyptian officials. The Egyptian delegation toured a key strategic site, including the Dorale Container Terminal, the future solar park in Dorale, and the logistic zone at the free trade zone dedicated to Egyptian export. The visit concluded with the signing of three major agreements. The ministerial delegation began with a comprehensive visit to the Dorale Container Terminal, followed by a site visit to the future solar park located in Dorale near the SGTD Container Terminal. The delegation then proceeded to the Djibouti International Free Trade Zone at PK23, where they visited the logistics area dedicated to the export and processing of Egyptian products. A signing ceremony was then held for three key agreements: an agreement between an Egyptian solar energy producer, El Zwedi Electric, and SGTD for the development of a 23 megawatt solar power plant with battery storage. The project will be develop on a 3-hectare site in Dorale and will supply energy exclusively to SJTD. A memorandum of understanding between Great Horn Investment Holding and the holding company for maritime and land transport, which is a state-owned Egyptian entity, for the development of a new container terminal, a land lease agreement for an initial 10-hectare plot within Djibouti International Free Trade Zone for the development of a logistic zone dedicated to the export and processing of Egyptian products. This project will lead, let's not forget, to job creation. Lieutenant General Engineer Kamal Al-Wazir, Deputy Prime Minister for Industrial Development and Minister of Industry and Transport of the Arab Republic of Egypt, affirmed that Djibouti and Egypt are a brotherly nation. He emphasized that his presence at the ceremony marked by the signing of an agreement between private companies and Djibouti Port and Free Zones Authority reflects the depth of this fraternal relationship and the common commitment to strengthening bilateral cooperation between the two friendly and brotherly countries, Djibouti and Egypt. Moving on to Arta now, where a 330 kilowatt solar power plant was officially inaugurated in the village of Omar Jaga with the goal of providing clean, reliable electricity to all local homes. The ceremony was attended by Djibouti's Minister of Energy, Younis Ali Gedi, Minister of Infrastructure and Transport, Hassan Mohamed Ibrahim, Egypt's Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Industrial Development and Transport, Kamal Abdel Hadi, as well as local authorities, MPs, community leaders, and a large crowd of residents. The solar plant, fully funded as a grant by the Egyptian government, is the largest of its kind in Djibouti's remote areas. It will provide sustainable, clean energy to meet all the electricity needs of the village of Omar Jaga. The inauguration concluded with the unveiling of the plaque, a tour of the technical facilities, and a demonstration of the 386 solar panels. The project is part of Djibouti's broader rural electrification strategy, bringing essential energy services to remote areas and supporting sustainable development in the region. The prefect of Arta region, Hassan W. Ahmed, and the president of the regional council, Elmi Bouha Goudade, did not fail to praise the project and call on villagers to take care of the plant and use the electricity responsibly. And for his part, Egypt's Deputy Prime Minister Kamal Abdel Hadi did not fail to express his gratitude to Djibouti's government and people, emphasizing that the project reflects the strong historical ties and cooperation that link the two countries. For his part, the president of Arta Regional Council, Elmi Bouha Goudade, stated that the large-scale solar project was made possible thanks to the determination of President Ismail Omar Guelleh and his government. He highlighted that the minister Younis Ali Gedi and his team had worked tirelessly to complete the project for the benefit of the local population. The regional council president also took the opportunity to congratulate the Minister of Energy and urge all population to take care of the solar plant and use the electricity responsibly. Kamal Abdel Hadi, Egypt's Deputy Prime Minister, did not fail to thank Djibouti's Minister of Energy, local authorities, and the residents of Omar Jaga for the warm welcome. He conveyed greetings from Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi and highlighted the strong friendship and cooperation between Djibouti and Egypt. He noted that the solar plant will provide clean energy, improve living conditions, create jobs, and promote economic activity in Omar Jaga village. He also emphasized that the project marks the start of a continued exchange of knowledge and technology and encourage residents to maintain the plan for long-term sustainability. He added that this initiative reflects the growing partnership between the two countries and set an example for regional cooperation. And finally, he expressed hope that such projects will continue to bring social and economic benefits to communities across Djibouti. Hassan Mohamed Ibrahim, Djibouti's Minister of Infrastructure and Equipment, emphasized that the construction of the solar power plant is a project of great importance that will reinforce the friendly and cooperative ties between Djibouti and Egypt. He also highlighted the positive benefits expected from the plant for the local population and extended sincere thanks from the government and people of Djibouti to their counterparts in Egypt. He finally concluded by noting that the plan represents a significant step toward sustainable development in remote areas and call on the community to maintain and protect this valuable infrastructure for future generations. In his statement, the Minister Yunus Ali Gedi did not fail to highlight that the plant is a testament to the strong bilateral cooperation between Djibouti and Egypt, reflecting the shared vision of both presidents. He explained that the project will have a wide-ranging social, economic, and environmental benefits, including improved living conditions, access to modern appliances, safer public spaces, better health services, and enhanced educational opportunities for children. Economically, the availability of clean energy will encourage, he said, local business, agriculture, and job creation, while environmentally, it will reduce reliance on fossil fuels and support sustainable development. Moving on now to the next story, the Ministry of Youth and Culture organized a spectacular cultural evening at the People's Palace to mark the official closing of National Heritage Week. The event is symbolically important as part of national effort to preserve and promote Djibouti's rich cultural heritage for future generations. The evening was attended by the Minister of Youth and Culture, Dr. Hibo Mumina Asowe, ambassadors from partner and friendly countries, senior ministry officials, the Director General of the National Agency for Cultural Promotion, as well as cultural figures, artists, and institutional partners. The program showcased the diversity and richness of Djibouti's heritage through traditional dances, folk song, poetry, and cultural performances. Moving on now to Yoboki, where a grand ceremony was held yesterday to inaugurate Ibrahim Abdallah Udum as the new chief of traditional leaders in the village of Yoboki. Belonging to a respected lineage, Ibrahim Abdallah Udum is deeply committed to maintaining peace among communities, embodying a traditional authority rooted in harmony, wisdom, mediation, and unity. From early morning, a large crowd from across Djibouti and neighboring regions gathered in Yoboki. The arrival of Chief Ibrahim Abdallah Udun was one of the day's highlights, greeted with cheers and accompanied by a ceremonial motorcar, tribal leaders, dignitaries, and representatives of traditional association demonstrating deep respect for the institution he represents. Yoboki has long been a symbol of peace thanks to the efforts of Hamadi Udum, who fostered reconciliation between communities and signed historic peace agreements. Ibrahim Abdallah Udum inauguration continued to this legacy, reinforcing social cohesion and community harmony. The new traditional leaders is expected to play a central role in safeguarding peace and promoting dialogue, following the example of Hamadi Udum, whose courage is ending decades of tribal conflict and rejecting revenge, has become a lasting symbol of moral strength and traditional wisdom in the region.
عبد الله إبراهيم نبا عبد الله إبراهيم نبا عبد الله إبراهيم نبا عبد الله sugte sido kuracti rakiboy talenta daru raksitala.
And after the warm welcome, the celebration began with cultural and musical performances by traditional artists from a diverse background.
سناب شات واتساب فيسبوك تيك توك ملحنا عالم يسكلي حريصي الله يدعى قرآن جلده الله يدعى
One of the MP present at the ceremony explained that the ceremony was held to continue a long-standing tradition honoring Ibrahim Abdullah Udun, the grandson of Hamad Udum, the late father of peace. He highlighted that Hamad Udum was admired for his courage, loyalty, and sense of justice, and this his nephew Barkhad Gurad Hamadu had continued his legacy. He added that on December 26, 2025, Ibrahim Abdullah Udun was inaugurated as the supreme traditional leader, carrying forward this heritage of peace and wisdom. His courage and dedication were recognized beyond Djibouti, demonstrating how a true leader prioritizes Djibouti, peace, and the well-being of his people, he finally concluded. And during the ceremony, Ibrahim Abdullah Udun was officially inaugurated as the new chief of traditional leaders. Following local customs, senior figures and tribal leaders presented symbolic items of leadership, including traditional attire and emblems of authority, responsibility, and community protection. And after the inauguration, all attending traditional leaders from various clans, as well as a representative of the local population and civil society, unanimously affirmed their commitment to the core values of leadership, peace, mediation, dialogue, and coexistence. The Dekhowechen, particularly Yoboke, is recognized nationally as a model of peace and social cohesion thanks to the policies of the late Hamadi Udumma. Health now. The Ministry of Health, through the National Institute of Public Health in Djibouti and in close collaboration with the United Nations Population Fund, organized a national workshop to assess the country's minimum emergency response package for sexual and reproductive health. The workshop, chaired by the National Advisor and Director General of the National Institute of Public Health, Dr. Miad, and attended by UNFPA representative Aisha Ibrahim, brought together key participants from the health sector, technical and financial partners, as well as representatives from public and private health facilities. The meeting aimed to evaluate the country's readiness in sexual and reproductive health during emergencies, identify achievement, challenges, and gaps, and develop practical recommendations to reinforce response capacity, improve coordination, and ensure protection of reproductive health and rights, particularly for women, adolescent girls, and vulnerable population. Let's not forget that this workshop is part of a national effort to reinforce the resilience of the health system in the face of humanitarian crisis. In her statement, the UNFPA representative Asha Ibrahim reaffirmed the organization's strong commitment to the government of Djibouti to ensure that no woman dies during childbirth, even in the most challenging circumstances. She explained that the emergency management system acts as a protective shield to safeguard reproductive rights and prevent gender-based violence during emergencies. She added that the shared goal is to move from a reactive approach to a culture of proactive preparedness, focusing on the immediate availability of reproductive health supplies and continuous training for field staff. Other news on Thursday, December 25th, 2025, the Djibouti Coast Guard Training Center at the Dorale camp hosted a ceremony marking the completion of a series of intensive training courses on direct combat for the rapid intervention team and diving training. These courses, conducted by experienced trainers from the Egyptian Navy, helped strengthen the tactical and operational skills of participants, reflecting excellence and bilateral cooperation between the two countries. The ceremony was attended by the Egyptian ambassador to Djibouti, Abdurrahman Rafad Katab, and Colonel Wais Omar Bokorre, commander of the Djibouti Coast Guard. This training program are part of a strong partnership between the two institutions, demonstrating the Egyptian Navy's ongoing commitment to developing the capabilities of the Djibouti Coast Guard. The Egyptian Navy has provided valuable support in both Djibouti and Egypt through various programs, including ship mechanics, underwater diving, and other essential technical and operational skills. The event highlighted once again the shared commitment of Djibouti and Egypt to strengthen their cooperation in a spirit of brotherhood and mutual support, contributing to regional peace and stability. The Egyptian ambassador did not fail to praise the strong fraternal ties between Djibouti and Egypt, highlighting the strategic and historical importance of this maritime cooperation. He emphasized that the training programs strengthen regional security and enhance the operational readiness of Djibouti's Coast Guard. He also noted that the exchange of expertise and technical skills reflect the long-standing partnership between the two countries. Finally, the ambassador did not fail to express Egypt's commitment to continue supporting Djibouti in developing its maritime capabilities. And in turn, the commander of the Djibouti Coast Guard, Wais Omar Bokoré, expressed his deep gratitude to the Egyptian trainers for their expertise and dedication. He also reaffirmed the importance of this partnership in strengthening maritime security in the region and combating shared threats. The commander of the Djibouti Coast Guard explained that these trainings allowed his teams to respond more effectively to emergency situations and improve their operational efficiency. He added that the transfer of technical skills strengthened and modernized the Coast Guard capabilities. Finally, he emphasized his commitment to continuing this cooperation with Egyptian partners to ensure security and stability in the region. Moving on to the international scene, tensions continue to rise as the sharp increase in attacks by Israeli extremists in the occupied West Bank worsens the humanitarian situation, drawing concern from global organizations and foreign governments. Observers warn that the repeated violence threatens regional stability and undermines the prospects for peace, while the international community calls for protection of civilians and respect for human rights. So that's it for tonight's news. Thanks for being with us and have a good night.